This is Experience Imagination, an award-winning themed entertainment podcast by FALCON'S Creative Group.
Story connects people to the experience.
Every aspect of creativity is brought together.
We wanted to do something different and fresh.
There are so many different disciplines that are involved in this industry.
Nothing will get you further than your passion.
This entire process is just making us better designers.
We're really pushing the envelope.
Welcome to Experience Imagination. I'm your host, Audrey DeLong. For the second time in our podcasting history, we are dedicating an entire episode to answering students' questions. Last time we did this, we invited students from the University of Central Florida's Themed Experience program to ask questions. This time, we targeted Ringling College of Art and Design in Sarasota, Florida. I reached out to Jamie DeRuyter, who you might recall was a guest on our March episode about getting an education in themed entertainment. As the department head of Ringling's entertainment design program, Jamie gathered questions from his students. A little about Ringling's program. During the course of earning their BFA degree, students learn how to be effective designers and collaborators within teams that work on creative projects across all kinds of entertainment experiences, like theme parks, museums and exhibitions, concerts, sporting events, expos, hotels and restaurants, retail spaces, and more. I lined up members of our Falcon staff to answer these students' questions, which gives you a great opportunity to hear from a wide variety of people with different perspectives and different levels of experience in the industry. Let's get started. I'm sitting here with Jason Embry, our Vice President of Digital Media. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Audrey. It's good to be back.
Yeah, good to have you. Tell the listeners what you do day to day.
As the Vice President of Digital Media here at FALCON'S, my job encompasses a wide range of responsibilities. So staying in tune with all of our projects, where juggling is really a large part of that, and communicating with vendors and clients and helping to guide our production and editorial teams, regular reviews with all of our departments, and generally just ensuring that the creative vision for all our media projects maintains the high standards at FALCON'S that we're known for.
Okay. I like that summary. All right. This is a question we got from Aster King. And Aster wants to know, what interpersonal skills would you consider the most valuable? And which are the ones that not many people practice but should?
Oh, wow. I think I have a lot to say on that. In this industry, I think technical mastery is essential, but it's really those interpersonal skills that determine the success that you have. And collaboration is really the heartbeat of themed entertainment, visual effects, gaming. You could be the most brilliant artist, designer, or programmer, but if you can't communicate your ideas coherently, or worse, you can't listen to others, I think your contributions are never going to reach their full potential. So first, I think the ability to listen, like actually really listen, is a skill that too many people overlook. So listening is, at the heart of and in the center of collaboration. Next, and I think this one's a lot harder than it sounds, is that emotional intelligence is important, in some ways more important than any technical know-how. Knowing how to read a room, understand the emotions of your team during stressful times, and still be able to foster an environment where people feel safe to innovate, that's really what turns a good team into a great one. So when people feel heard, they're able to bring their best ideas to the table. Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Yeah. Emotional intelligence, we hear that a lot.
Yeah. I think another undervalued skill is accountability. The truth is we all make mistakes, myself included, all the time on a daily basis. And it's just owning up to them quickly and showing that you're willing to learn goes a long way towards earning the respect of your peers and your team. Mm-hmm. So, and then I think finally, my personal favorite would be curiosity. And true curiosity is something that's very rare, and it's a foundational skill. The hunger to learn and to experiment and to fail and try again is really what keeps you relevant and innovative in an industry that's always evolving. You can teach people the technical skills needed for the job, but it's much harder to teach these interpersonal skills. So, the best leaders and the teams I know have never lost that beginner's mindset.
Yeah. So if I would summarize your answer, I would say collaboration, emotional intelligence, listening, and if they can practice listening especially, they'll be better off.
And what's the last one, Audrey? Were you listening?
I was.
Curiosity.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. All right, Jason, thanks again for being here.
It's great to be back, Audrey.
All right, so I am here with Stephanie Knoll. She's a concept designer. Hey there, Stephanie.
Hello.
It's good to have you on the podcast. Thanks
you.
for doing it. As a concept designer at FALCON'S, what exactly do you do?
I sometimes will take designs that are pre-existing and edit them if there's things that need to be changed on it, color, positioning, poses, stuff like that.
All right, so I have this question from Caitlin Stankey. And I thought of you because I looked at your LinkedIn page and I thought, okay, well, concept designer, you've done fabrication. You're the perfect person to answer this. So Caitlin asks, is there a space in the industry for multidisciplinary students? I love show set design, but I can't give up fabrication, and it's heartbreaking to hear that I need a niche. And I'm not sure where she's hearing that from.
Yeah.
But I know it's not necessarily true.
Yeah, it's not true. Yes, there's plenty of room for multiple skill sets in the industry. I started as an illustrator, majoring in illustration at SCAD, minoring in concept design. And then I did a prop internship at Universal Studios where I didn't have any prop background, but they saw, what I had in me to kind of create. And so I think don't be afraid to kind of veer off if you have other interests, because sometimes companies will utilize the other skills that you might have.
Yeah, a lot of people enter the themed entertainment business just a totally different background.
Mm-hmm.
They could come from gaming or television, film production,
Mm-hmm.
one of those areas. Architecture is another big one.
Yes.
And that was kind of your path too.
Yes. I just finished up a film with Leica Studios, coming from Universal Studios theme park, knowing some people there, and then those people knew somebody at Leica, and they were like, well, let's reach out to her because she has this and this in her background. She knows mold making from theme parks, and this film needs mold making. Mm-hmm. When I got the interview, they saw my other portfolio and my other skill sets, and they said, oh, she likes painting and she's really good at it. Let's get her into puppet painting instead of the mold making department. And so that's just a perfect example of, even though you might have skill set in one thing, people can also see where you're good at in others as well.
Yeah, there's all these ingredients to make the soup, right?
Yeah.
And so now you're a concept designer, and I'm sure you've been able to reach into your bag of tricks from your past.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Working at Universal Studios for about 8 years, I didn't only just do 3D physical sculpture, mold making, fiberglass work, installation as well, which they needed somebody to help install for the attractions. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. So being willing to kind of step out of your comfort zone will actually create your library of knowledge. And that's so valuable, especially in the industry where there's like multimedia and multifacets that you can go down. So to be valuable as an employee is just great, because then you can add on to your portfolio.
Yeah, I know we like that here at FALCON'S, wearing multiple hats and being able to draw from all that experience.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was a great answer for Caitlin. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I'm here with Jason Ambler, our president of Content Strategy and Innovation. Hello.
Hi, Audrey. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Real good.
Tell us about your role.
So my role as president of Content Strategy and Innovation, it really spearheads all of our different content initiatives and technology initiatives, and how those two things intersect. So supporting our project-based content work, but also some of our own original IP content. So that's on YouTube, episodic, gaming, Roblox, across all of our different platforms that we're looking to target.
Well, since you have your finger on the pulse of the future, I figured you'd be the best person to answer this question. And actually, it's two questions. The first question came from Julia Nicholas, and she asks, how do you see the industry evolving in the next few years?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me look into my crystal ball.
Okay.
I think, for one, we're seeing some of the bigger theme parks starting to export their experiences into more regional offerings, and taking some of the bigger footprint experience and putting it into a smaller footprint, whether that be through location-based entertainment or micro theme parks. And you're seeing not only the the big players doing that, but you're seeing other IPs activating that way. Netflix House and some of these entertainment franchises that are entering the location-based market are creating immersive, very compact experiences, leveraging a lot of digital technology, leveraging a lot of interactivity, and different ways to connect with audiences and engage with them differently.
Well, that's really exciting stuff.
Yes.
And it leads into the next question.
Great.
And this came from Juan Bonillo.
Okay.
He wants to know, what does the future of interactive experiences look like in theme parks?
Well, interactivity has definitely been a big trend in attractions in general. You're seeing interactivity also worked into other aspects of themed entertainment, food and beverage and retail. But I think the next layer to that will be ultimately personalized interactive experiences, where you're not just interacting on a predefined storyline or ride experience, but you're actually manipulating and changing, and that ride experience is adapting to your own personal performance or preference. So I think that's really where the industry will move towards, which is a lot closer to what we see in gaming, in the video games industry. So incorporating some of these layers of personalization and some of these other ways to connect digital and physical experiences. It's about giving your audience what they want. So that comes through understanding who they are and their different data points, and then being able to interpret that into a more immersive or thematic experience.
Yeah, so they're collecting data.
They are. I think the days of us being incredibly concerned about data privacy are changing. But ultimately, I think people are willing to relinquish their data and certain points of information about themselves and their preferences if it ultimately provides them a more personalized experience, right? So
yeah, anytime you use an app, Spotify, Netflix, you might like this.
Yeah, exactly. Your favorites list, what you like, the movies you like, that all feeds into the algorithm that ultimately serves you up more relevant content that they think you will like.
Yeah, it's very intriguing that it's now going to be used in a physical environment.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, Jason, thanks for being here.
Of course, thanks.
All right, I'm here with Michaela Winger, junior set designer. Hey there, Michaela.
Hi.
It's good to see you in the podcast booth.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm wondering, what does a junior set designer do at Falcons?
We are the in-between initial concept art, and our technical art. We help things be fleshed out for how it looks in the real world.
Okay, so you're kind of bridging.
Yeah, we bridge the two, the initial concept art and the technical art.
Okay. This is a question that came from Sue Min Shim, and this person wants to know, at what point did you feel fortunate to have chosen this career?
I felt like I really started enjoying this career when I was working at night in the theme parks, doing different scenic facades and repairs throughout the parks. It was just really magical being the only one walking down these streets at night.
So were other members of your team with you, or are you the only one?
Sometimes there'd be other people. We're a very small team of scenics, so depending on which department, there was usually 4 or 5 of us. Some nights you'd be working together. Some nights we would load up the golf cart and it'd be 2 of us going to a location. It depended on the size of the project.
Yeah.
Some nights, like, we would do a large facade and it would be 4 or 5 of us knocking it out in one night because everything had to be dry by the morning, no matter what. So you could only bite off as much as you could finish in that time period.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Keeping everything looking really fresh and clean so that everyone comes in and gets the same experience as if it was day one.
Yeah. Yeah. The little elves working in the background at night when no one can see them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so, it was the vampire life for a little while.
You can only do that for so long.
Yeah, I was there for 2.5 years before I made my move to the next thing.
Now it's normal hours.
Now it's normal hours, and I love it. I really enjoy getting to be, now having the facilities background, understanding how things kind of play out in the day-to-day of a theme park. I get to bring that knowledge into Falcons.
All right, well, I loved your answer, Michaela. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much. It was great to be here, and thank you for your question.
All right, I am here with James Griffiths. Hello, James.
Hi. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
So, as a senior concept designer here at Falcons, what do you do exactly?
I paint, draw, illustrate. A lot of it's problem solving. So it's not just drawing pretty pictures. We have to figure out how to make certain things work. It all starts with kind of the blue sky concept phase, but then you have to go beyond that and figure out how it works. If you have 3D knowledge, that can always help you kind of block stuff out. So, yeah.
All right, so let's see if we can answer this question from Ethan Moore.
Okay.
All right, so Ethan asks, what was a time you made a mistake? What did you learn from it, and how did you remedy it?
So there's been a few times with iterations going back and forth with the client. There's so many different notes to hit, you miss a few. So when that goes out, the client will see that. And usually, they're always appreciative of the work. But they'll notice, like, hey, we did ask for A, B, and C, and maybe you hit the rest of the alphabet, So you don't make any excuses. Just say, yes, we'll hit that, absolutely. We just missed it. And you go back in. And usually everyone's pretty understanding. So especially if you're doing great work and you're hitting everything else, it's like, it's not like you did it on purpose. It's just there's a lot of notes.
Right.
So, yeah, I'd say that's the big one.
All right, so is there a way to make sure you hit all those notes?
You have to be kind of diligent in your own note taking, or at least have someone with you who's really good at note taking. So we're lucky we have a lot of great project coordinators. I know they help me a lot because I can only hold so many things in my brain at once. It's like once you get to 3 things, something else has to leave.
Right.
So it really needs to be written, or that's that. And being able to always refer back to those, that's a huge help.
All right, James, thank you for your answer.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I am sitting here with Amy Avalos. Welcome to the podcast, Amy.
Hello.
Hey, so as a creative director at Falcons, what exactly does your job entail?
Well, right now I am overseeing all the F&B retail and guest services on our theme parks.
Okay, excellent. So this question is from Juan Bonillo, Amy. He asks, how can we as students start thinking like a creative director?
That's a great question, Juan. So how you can start thinking like a creative director starts with a 1,000-foot level high viewpoint of the project or the overall venue. It's easy for all of us to get tunnel vision while we're designing, but it's just as important to look up at everything as a whole, especially when you're working on a large project or with other teams and disciplines. So here's a few questions just to keep in mind as you're working through the design process. Do props, furniture, fixture, show set all help them to tell the story, or does it detract from it? What is the soundscape, the staff wardrobes, the scents, the overall feel, and does that feel like it ties all together? It's also very important to consider that you're meeting the intent of the overall IP, and also just considering how the design of the nearby venues are tying into that same story. Does it make sense? Does it integrate well with the surrounding landscapes and also the hardscapes? And lastly, just to communicate with all the other teams and the disciplines on a daily basis, because everything is constantly changing and in flux all the way up to the last day of construction.
And that's what you consider on a daily basis?
Yes, and more.
All right, well, that was a very thorough answer. I'm sure Juan appreciates that and all the students out there. Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
All right, we're here with Eric Calderon, EVP of Creative Development. Hey, Eric.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's nice to have you back.
Thank you.
First of all, tell the listeners what you do in your role at Falcons.
I'm in charge of all of the creative execution of our intellectual properties outside of the parks, so TV, film, video games, consumer products, etc.
All right, nice. I felt like you were the perfect person to answer this question. And this came from Sophie Kramer. She asks, with the industry shifting to be quite IP heavy, how can students best prepare themselves for working with someone else's stories and characters?
Okay, well, Sophie, that's a bit of a loaded question because I think we're in a stage right now where people feel that it's a little bit conservative in the sense that the streaming war is over, there's been a lot of layoffs, there's been kind of a shrink in the power of entertainment, or so it seems. So it does feel like we're in a phase where things are IP heavy, quote unquote. But I think the broader view, especially for students to think about, is that the entertainment industry is great idea heavy, not necessarily IP heavy. So some of the great ideas, so to say, are ones that have lasted a long time, that have market penetration, that have the staying power for brands to continue to work on them. But that is not to say a new idea can not break through. I think there's always going to be a breakthrough new idea. And the perspective of a student who's preparing themselves for a career in entertainment, it's always wise to be able to execute a variety of styles, a variety of material, a variety of perspectives. So that means a well-rounded portfolio. That means an understanding of different art forms. In a way, be a super fan of whatever it is you're into, because I found in my career that super fandom always pays off later. It gives you kind of an intuitive understanding, whether that be Japanese anime or AAA video games or animated feature films. Just be a fan of something through and through so that when it comes your time to take a swing, you have decades of authentic experience in working with those brands.
Yeah, really good advice. Deep dive.
Take a deep dive and be unafraid to really become a super fan, because that helps you understand how other brands will be successful later.
All right, great answer, Eric.
Yep.
Thanks for helping out.
Yeah, you're welcome. Good luck, Sophie.
All right, well, I am here with Jen Pritchard. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a while.
It has. You're a technical integration manager. That's your title at Falcons. What does that entail?
Yeah, so essentially I'm overseeing all of the integration of different show elements for our design. So everything from lighting, audiovisual, special effects, show action, animatronics, acoustics, just kind of everything within that that bucket, and just overseeing the integration of all of that across all of our different design projects.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Every day is different.
Right, I bet. So this question came in from Capri Easter Day.
Okay.
And Capri wants to know, what was the most important thing you learned in your beginning years of being a designer?
Ooh, okay. So I would say the most important thing is to not be afraid to dive right into a challenge. You're new, people know that you're a new designer, that you might be new to the business or new to the position or even the company. But don't be afraid to dive into a challenge. Don't be afraid to ask your peers and the people around you for help. The good thing about you joining a team is that you're bringing your unique perspective. So, other people might not think the way that you are. So I know when I first started here at Falcons in my first week as an intern, I was tasked with designing a round ride and what the theme of the round ride was. And I was like, I've never done this before. But, giving that challenge and getting that freedom to kind of work with all of that was something that gives you a little bit of confidence, and it allows you to learn so much. So that's what I'd say. Don't be afraid to jump into a new challenge.
Yeah. Get those fears out of the way.
Exactly. And, if you're at a really good place, you've got the support of your peers to help you learn and help you grow as well.
Yeah, this is a supportive place too. So I'm sure you did well with that round ride, by the way.
Yeah, I think it turned out excellent. I was very proud of it. And yeah, it's something I look back on fondly, like, wow, first week in, any career, and I was able to tackle that. Yeah. It was a fun challenge then.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the challenge.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're going to face a lot in your career.
Definitely.
Well, thank you so much, Jen.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Thanks for listening to our Ringling Students Want to Know episode. To all the aspiring themed entertainment pros who submitted their questions, many thanks. And we appreciate all of our Falcons who provided their thoughts on these very topics. Again, a special shout out goes to Jamie DeRuyter of Ringling for helping me gather these questions. To learn more about their program, visit ringling.edu/entertainment design. We like doing these types of episodes, so we're going to feature another school in the near future. And of course, next month we'll be back with an all-new episode. Thank you for listening to Experience Imagination, a Falcons Creative Group production. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the podcast. Be sure to check out falconscreativegroup.com and follow us on Instagram, X, Facebook, and LinkedIn. If you have ideas for future episodes or just want to drop us a message, send an email to podcast@falconscreativegroup.com.